When it comes to the broader scope of Stellantis vehicles, we've seen some of the brands dip their toe into high-performance electrification, but so far it's been brands which have all been about high performance. Think Alfa Romeo or Abarth. But Vauxhall are the first mainstream manufacturer who are looking at doing a high-performance version of one of their well-known SUVs. This is the Vauxhall Mokka GSE. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you whether this actually has the sporting credentials to be a high-performance contender or whether it's just a Mokka with a slightly bigger motor. Hi guys, my name's Tish and welcome back to my channel Auto Social UK. In today's video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about the new GSE Mokka. So if that sounds good, then please keep watching. And if you do like new car reviews and car content, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. First of all, however, I think we need to do a bit of a recap. What does GSE actually stand for? GSE. It stands for Grand Sport Electric, and this is one of the very first times that we're seeing it on an all-electric production Vauxhall. The Mokka GSE is the result of years of electric motorsport development by Vauxhall's sister brand Opel. They've been running electric rally cars in the FIA's new E-Rally 5 category, and now that tech and spirit is being challenged into something that you'll see on actual roads. It's built on the familiar Mokka Electric, but with some pretty serious upgrades under the skin, and it's the first real taste of what GSE will mean going forward: electrification, performance, and proper driver engagement. Let's talk performance, because the Mokka GSE isn't just a body kit. It runs a 207 kilowatt electric motor, and that results in 280 brake horsepower, paired together with 345 pound-feet of torque, all going to the front wheels via a Torsen limited slip differential. That results in a 0 to 62 time of 5.9 seconds. And it will top out at 124 miles per hour, which makes it the fastest all-electric Vauxhall ever built. Power comes from a 54 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery, giving you 209 miles of WLTP range. Not bad, especially when you consider the hardware on board. You also get a decent level of stopping power to help back up all of that performance. It features high-performance Alcon brakes, which are highly rated within motorsport. You also get 380mm front discs and 4-piston fixed calipers. The wheels are also wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport EV tyres, which are specifically developed for this particular car. The Mokka GSE builds on the familiar design of the standard Mokka Electric, but dials things up a notch, with some clear performance cues. Visually, it's not a total departure from the regular car, but these are enough changes to make it stand out. At the front, it wears Vauxhall's signature visor design, a slim blacked-out panel that integrates the headlights and grille. But the lower bumper has been redesigned, with more aggressive vents and GSE-specific detailing. Around the back, there's a subtle new diffuser and small roof spoiler, but overall, it avoids being too flashy. The GSE badges are new, and they appear on the front, sides and rear in black and yellow, a colour theme carried throughout the car. It's a neat nod to Vauxhall's GSE history, but unless you know what it means, it's quite understated. Where it does stand out more clearly is the stance. The GSE sits 10mm lower than the regular Mokka and rides on those unique 20-inch alloy wheels, which are large for a car of this size. In short, the Mokka GSE doesn't scream for attention, but the changes it does have, particularly the lowered stance and bigger wheels, give it a much more confident presence, more than the standard car. Inside, the rally references continue, but with a premium edge. One of my favourite things has got to be these front sport seats. And let's face it, if we think about performance Vauxhalls, seats were always very important. Whilst these may not be the bucket seats that we know from things like the Vauxhall Corsa VRX, they do take it into a new generation. They're very, very high quality whilst still being supported and sporty. They're trimmed in Alcantara, but down the sides you have imitation leather, and then everything is just lifted with some of that yellow stitching, which is so iconic to GSE. You also have GSE embossed inside of the seats and this white line that runs all the way down the centre. You also have a very sporty steering wheel, which features a completely flat bottom. But also something which is so iconic to Vauxhall now is this central marker. which is featured in many of their cars, including their concept cars. You also have door cards, which are trimmed in that Alcantara, but you'll find brushed chrome around the vehicle, which feels both high quality, but also does give it that sporty edge. You're also surrounded by that glow of yellow, which is so iconic to this new generation of performance car. The 10-inch digital driver's display and the 10-inch central touchscreen are carried over from the standard Mokka, but in the GSE they come with new graphics and menus. These include performance-rated info like power delivery, G-forces and acceleration data, features that likely appeal more to enthusiastic drivers but may not be used every day by most people. Thankfully, the basics are still easy to access. Vauxhall has kept physical buttons for the climate controls, which make adjusting the temperature or fan speed straightforward without diving into menus, something not all modern cars can say. Smartphone connectivity is standard and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are both supported, and there's a wireless charging pad and 2 USB-C ports for front and rear. Over-the-air updates are also available, so future software tweaks won't require a trip to the dealership. The Vauxhall Mokka GSE joins a growing group of performance electric crossovers built on Stellantis' eCMP platform, sharing its core architecture with the Abarth 600e and the Alfa Romeo Junior Veloce. All three feature a 280 brake horsepower front-wheel drive setup with 345 Nm of torque, mechanical slip differentials and upgraded suspension systems, aiming at delivering sharper handling. With a 0-62 time of around 5.9 seconds and a top speed of 124 miles per hour, the Mokka GSE is on par with both of its Italian siblings in terms of straight-line performance. Where the cars differ is in their character and positioning. The Abarth 600e pushes the sporty styling further, with more aggressive bodywork and branding aimed at enthusiasts, while the Alfa Romeo Junior Veloce goes upmarket, offering a firmer chassis setup and more premium interior materials. The Mokka GSE, meanwhile, feels grounded. It keeps the practical and slightly more reserved looks of the standard Mokka, while still gaining meaningful performance upgrades like the Alcon brakes and bespoke suspension tuning. Pricing will be critical. Even the current range-topping Mokka Electric Ultimate will cost you £37,280, which most would argue is already pushing the limits of what a compact electric crossover should cost. If the GSE climbs too far beyond that, especially over the £40,000 luxury tax threshold, it could struggle to justify itself, even with the performance upgrades. Ideally, Vauxhall will aim to keep the GSE just under that mark or make it a similar price to the current top-spec GS, especially when it goes against the Abarth 600e and similarly priced hot hatch EVs. If it lands above £40,000, it risks appealing to only a niche audience and losing that everyday appeal that makes the standard Mokka so popular. Of all of the mainstream Stellantis brands underneath the umbrella, I believe that it made the most sense for Vauxhall to first dip their toe into high-performance electrification, because let's face it, they have such a rich history of not only performance cars, but accessible performance cars, and it makes sense to bring an accessible SUV package to the mainstream. But let me know, do you think the Mokka GSE has what it takes to have the same endearing qualities as past Vauxhalls? Let me know in the comments down below. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more, then make sure you hit the subscribe button. Until next time, guys, see you later.